go to the phones. We'll talk with Dudley Dawson about this from Hogville. Good morning, Dudley. Makes sense with me here. Wake Forest, 10-4 SEC on the bubble. Arkansas, 3 SEC wins right there with them.
4, right? Am I
4, that's right. I'm miscounting.
Yeah. So that makes it a lot different.
I guess so.
Yeah, but I mean, the strength of the league. Certainly the SEC is known as a basketball conference, and there's such excitement and such respect for it that I guess Lenardi and the so-called experts believe that Arkansas really has a chance to get in. And let's be honest, if your coach was Joe Blow, it probably wouldn't be as big a deal. But since it's Cal, there's some respect there.
Yeah, it says Wake Forest beat Michigan by 2, but they did lose to Florida pretty big, and they lost to A&M. So that's wild. Hey, so what do you think, Dudley, as far as how Big Z's coming along, just how the team had their efforts, even though they didn't hit some shots early, they kind of grinded it out and stayed with it?
Yeah, they've gotten this ability now. I guess it's 3 of the last 4 games to win games in a different manner, but most of it includes defense and Big Z, who suddenly has come alive. You really thought you'd get more out of that center position, maybe not from him, but you thought you would, and now it's suddenly getting that, although he's a center who's knocking down shots outside. I've been really impressed with the urgency they've played with since they got 1 and 6, which, if there was ever a time to be urgent, that would be then. But they put themselves in position to give themselves a shot. I looked at the schedule last night after the game last night, and it's rough. It's rough. You're going to have to win some in there, but if you do, they're all going to be really good wins.
Back on Big Z here, and but I thought it's interesting to see how much of the offense will run through him around the perimeter, and that's kind of where I thought things would go with him throughout the year, and that aspect has grown right now. But the reason why he's playing so well and playing so much is what he's doing on the inside, on both ends of the court, and it just seems to be so much about knowledge of how to use his unique aspects of his body defensively, which might be a little bit of footwork. It's a little bit of toughness involved in it as well. But that, to me, is where he's grown more than anything, and why he's on the court, and that goes to that also speaks to the idea of why does Knox get minutes when he's not playing as well offensively? Well, because he plays well defensively. I think that's been where Z's grown the most.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And certainly he's not Joker, but he's one of these guys that is able to, as you said, initiate the offense, because at that height, you can get the ball to where it needs to be. You've got to give, I think, some credit also to the other guys who are doing a better job screening, who are doing a better job playing for each other, I think. But you're very right in that, in talking about how he has really come on, and the offense. You look at that box score last night. He has 25. I think the next one has 11. It was all going through him, but he wasn't what we called hogging the ball back in the day. And I think that as long as you've got the ball moving, it allows him to get his open shots. And he's a big part of that ball movement, as you said.
Dudley, right now I think Duke is the best team in the country. I know Alabama and Auburn and SEC biased, and I know they're amazing. I like Alabama. I like Auburn. There's a lot of teams I'd like in the SEC. Who do you think right now is the best team in the country?
Well, I think that's a pretty good indication. Last night, if St. John's won last night, I might have thought them the way they were playing. That would have been 11 in a row for them, and Rick Pitino's got them playing great. But, if you look at the amount of stars, some who haven't even played up to their potential on the Duke team, I think that's a team that can go deep into the tournament. So I think that's a pretty good choice. I also think there are just a lot of teams that are right there. And one of the great things about March is that it's how you're playing then, not how you're playing now. And I think there's a lot of teams that it should be a fun watch once we get to March.
Do you think that Arkansas gets any added consideration from the committee when it comes time because of who the coach is?
Yes, absolutely. If he was, like I said, if he was Joe Blow, it wouldn't happen. But And they can tell me that that's not part of it, but let's be real. We're all objective to a point, and then when you put Team A up against Team B as they do those things with straight through schedule and all that, and then you try to tell me they don't know that John Calipari is the coach.
It would be odd to have him be the team that's got the smallest violin in the world. It really would.
True. It's true.
It really would. When it was Buzz the other year, I mean, it felt weird, but it also didn't feel quite the same as it would if it was Cal. So yeah, you can understand that somewhat. You can be a bomb tomorrow, Dudley. You can be there quite a no, not.
Actually, I've had a rough week, man. I've had something called the norovirus.
Oh.
Lost 10 pounds between Sunday night and Tuesday morning. Worst weight loss program ever, by the way. But so I'm going to. I'm getting better. Starting to eat solid food now, but I'm not bringing that to everybody else this weekend. I'll just be covering from home and listening to you guys.
Good thing that we did this interview over the phone then, Matt.
Absolutely.
Hey, what was your thoughts on how the trading deadline ended up in the NBA, and how are you looking with your Celtics? Are you still feeling fine? Are you a believer in Cleveland yet? How are you feeling right now as the NBA All-Star break's about to happen?
I'm starting to feel better about the Celtics. I didn't think they were playing with the hunger that you need to. I know that's hard after you win a championship to come back and do that. But Tatum is certainly playing really well lately, and a lot of the so-called bit players, which I don't know we can call them so-called bit players, it seems to me like two guys take off every night, but they still have enough most nights. I feel good about the way they went to Cleveland and won. Cleveland, I do think, is a really good team, and I think has a great chance to come out of the East as well. Oklahoma City continues to be the team in the West that really does it for me. And as much as I hate to say it, I'm not pushing away the Lakers yet. I watched them play 2 nights ago, and they look great. Not so much last night, but tell you what, that's Luka with that bunch. I think it's just going to be really good.
Hey, Dudley, don't worry about it. Back-to-back is in. In fact, back-to-back is tired. 3 in a row is the wired one. Look what happened. Georgia won back-to-back national titles a couple of years ago in football. We've had back-to-back national titles in men's basketball. Oklahoma's won like 4 softball championships in a row. I think Dawn Staley may end up having another one. Who knows? With South Carolina. Your Celtics are going to win another. The Chiefs just had back-to-back championships. You just have to worry about the third, okay?
Dan Hurley just dropped from the rankings. They're not in the top 25 anymore.
Just throw the green and white confetti right now, Dudley. It's all going to be okay.
Man, is Hurley a madman or what?
He's losing it. What is it? Serenity now, insanity later, right?
Hey, I mean, gosh, you won. It's not like you've been losing, dude, over the years. Did
Dean Smith walk off the court at the Pine Bluff Convention Center shouting out, "Hey, Baldy, I got 2 rings."
Needed a good laugh.
Yesterday was the anniversary of that, Dud.
Absolutely. Obviously I miss my good friend Charles. But that will always go down in history as not only I always remind my kids that not only will go down as the day that Charles hit the shot to beat North Carolina, but it's also when I met my wife and the mother of my children that night. So that was a hell of a day for me.
That's like what's the day in 1955 on Back to the Future? That's the day where big time forks in the road for Dudley Dawson, and all went in the right direction too.
That's absolutely.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.